Bill and Ted Face the Music is the latest film in the now Bill and Ted trilogy 30 years after Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. Sorry for this late review, guys. There's been a lot of stuff going on in between when this movie was released on VOD until now finally reviewing this movie. Sorry guys for this super late review. I know everybody reviewed this movie already, everybody talked about it, so I won't add anything new to say, but I really don't care. So without further ado, let's get started with this review. As I said in the beginning, this movie takes place nearly 30 years after the last movie where Bill and Ted at the end of Bogus Journey was supposed to make that music, that song that's supposed to unite the world, but it unfortunately didn't, and they are washed up musicians trying to make that song that's supposed to unite the world, save humanity, save existence. So they traveled back all the way to the future to see if they ever made that song that united and saved the world. I know I never really talked about the Bill and Ted movies on my channel. Actually, I never really mentioned these movies on my channel before, so I'll give my brief thoughts on the first two movies. I love Excellent Adventure. It's one of my favorite comedy movies of all time and one of my favorite movies of the 80s. It is such a timeless movie, and out of the three movies, it is still the best out of the three. Bogus Journey is a decent sequel, not as great as the first movie, I'll say. It has some funny moments, it has some very hilarious moments like the scenes with Death and the evil Bill and Ted and the robot Bill and Ted and the Muppet thingies, I forgot what they were called. Those were hilarious as well. But Bogus Journey, decent sequel. Coming into this movie, I honestly expect for this movie to be a complete train wreck. A movie, Bill and Ted 3 in 2020, sounds like a terrible idea, especially the fact that these guys are in their 50s now, and are they still going to be able to pull off the do and the whoa and the excellent in this modern day and age? Like, especially since Hollywood has a fascination with making reboots and sequels to old franchises 30 years ago and beyond. Bill and Ted Face the Music is a very enjoyable sequel and is definitely for the fans of the first two movies, because if you're not a fan of Excellent Adventure and Bogus Journey, you're not going to be a fan of this movie, because this is the type of movie where you have to like the first two movies in order to like this movie, and that's completely fine with me because I like those two movies. And this is just a very fun, enjoyable, just escape from reality, especially with all the COVID stuff going on in our world and what's going on in the news and all the crap that's going on in our society. This is a great escapist film, and this is the type of movie that I needed. Something that's very carefree and relaxing, something that I could just easily watch and turn my brain off, because this movie isn't rooting for an Oscar, or this isn't trying to be nominated for Best Picture for next year, if there will ever be an Oscar next year. It knows what it is. It knows it's silly. It knows it's stupid. It's very self-aware, just like the first two movies. And that's what I feel like what's so unique about the Bill and Ted movies, that yeah, it features two guys that are very, not the brightest in the room, but at the same time, these movies know what they are, and they're very aware of that, but they know that. So they just give us these fun movies that we can just laugh at how dumb they are. Not in a bad way, but in a good way. So we can just enjoy these characters, because Alex Winter and Keanu Reeves, they are very great in these roles. I feel like, well, Alex Winter, I feel like he never left his Bill. Keanu Reeves, compared to Alex Winter, especially after Bill and Ted 2, he had a much larger and bigger career, because of course The Matrix, Speed, Point Break, the John Wick movies. Compared to Alex Winter, who didn't really have much of a film career after this. I mean, he acted in movies after the second Bill and Ted, but nothing well known as Keanu Reeves. They're still great in these roles. I love seeing them as fathers in this movie, especially with their daughter counterparts in this film, which was very hilarious. I love their daughters in this movie. I was afraid that they were going to be copycats of Bill and Ted, since they are their offsprings, but they were one of the best parts of the movie. I love their little side story of them like going back in time to the past to see these big musical historic figures, and then getting them to form this band to save the music, save the world. And it's very hilarious to see like how these fictionalized versions of these real people in this movie, just like the first two movies, I mean, it doesn't come off as cringy or jarring because these are real life people, but it does come off in a way that it's just hilarious and you just have to go with it sometimes. And the time travel aspect is very fun in this movie. Just like how I said before with Bill and Ted's Daughter, when they travel to the past to get the musical figures, Bill and Ted, they go to the future, way beyond the future as a matter of fact, each year to see if they ever wrote that song that united the world. And we get to see older versions of themselves in very hilarious fashion. Even a cameo from a very well-known musical artist who I was not expecting to be in this movie at all as soon as he appeared. I'm like, whoa! They added him in there. And we get Death from Bogus Journey back in this movie. And it was great to see Death. He was my favorite character in that film. I love Death so much, and he was great in this movie. And honestly, guys, that's all I have to say about Bill and Ted Face the Music. It's a fun ride. It knew what it was. It did its job. It came in. It went out. I watched it. I enjoyed myself. It's not a perfect movie, of course. I mean, you have to like the first two movies, just like this movie, which is kind of unfortunate if you're just a casual viewer and if you've never seen the first two movies. And also, too, I feel like this movie ends a little bit abrupt for me. I mean, like I said, it did its job, it came in and it went out, but I really wish there was more to the ending than just, oh, boom, end credit. I'm like, wait, what?
I'm gonna give Bill and Ted Face the Music a B+.
Thank you so much for watching, guys, and if you guys seen Bill and Ted Face the Music, let me know what y'all think of it in the comment section down below. And, got a bit of an announcement. If you guys missed my horror movie review during the Halloween season in the past on my channel, well, guess what? They're back! Yes, guys, I am bringing back my horror movie review starting tomorrow. I cannot wait. And for this year, I'm going to be reviewing some movies that I've seen before and some that I've never seen before. So you're going to get a good mixture of that for this series of horror movie reviews for this Halloween season. So be on the lookout for those, guys. And guys, thank you so much for watching. And as always, if you're new to my channel and you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. And as always, be excellent to each other. And party on, dudes!